Welcome to Around the Bend with Silky. In this episode, we're visiting the Dinosaur Museum in St. George, Utah. We were staying in Washington, Utah, at a very nice campground. The views from this place were totally amazing, and we actually got treated to some hot air balloons one morning. You could see for probably 50 miles from this campground. So in this episode, we're going to be going to nearby St. George, Utah. We found the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Center. It's a rare gem that was kind of in a very busy section of town directly across from a big school district. And the other side of the street had a daycare center. The history of this museum begins in 2000 when a local optometrist, Dr. Sheldon Johnson, was leveling a hill on his property. After removing several feet of topsoil, he came across the thick sandstone layer. The layer was the paleontological jackpot, dinosaur footprints. Dr. Johnson and his wife, LaVerna, decided to share the rocks with the world, opening their farm to the public. Within a few months, trained paleontologists from around the state, plus hundreds of volunteers, helped uncover thousands of fossils. Utah paleontologist Jim Kirkland has said the St. George Tract site is not only the oldest Jurassic dinosaur site in Utah, it is the best basalt Jurassic tract site in western North America. Together, scientists, businesses, and government officials on the local, state, and national levels, the Johnsons and the DinosaurAH Foundation raised enough funds to build this museum. They started off this museum as you walked in with a gift shop, an entertainment center for kids with lots of toys and things to keep them busy, and also kind of an introduction of how the site was excavated. And then you come across this big mural wall, and when you walk past it, you open up into this giant building that covers the entire excavation site. I'll leave in some of the audio as we go through this because it is a self-guided but also narrated locally as you go to the different exhibits with a bunch of information about what you're looking at.
Small meat eaters that are buoyed up in the water, and as they're kicking their feet, their toes strike the muddy bottom, parallel set straight. Yeah, what do you see? Here at the Dinosaur Discovery Site at Johnson Farm, we have the world's largest best preserved collection of dinosaur swim tracks. These tracks ended all controversy on whether or not dinosaurs actually swam.
In a few cases, swim tracks transition into more typical footprints made as the floating track makers moved into shallower water, which they could walk instead of swim.
When you're that tall.
Yeah.
What were dinosaurs and other animals doing on the shores of Lake Whitmore? Fossil tracks and traces are important in finding this out because they record behavior, not bodies, in the environment where the track-making animals actually live. The tracks at this site record more behaviors than just walking, behaviors that might not be evident from fossil bone.
foot tracks made by small meat eaters that are buoyed up in the water, and as they're kicking their feet, their toes strike the muddy bottom, parallel sections straight line. Here at the Dinosaur Discovery Site in Dumpster Farm.
An up-close and personal look at a dinosaur skeleton. This is one giant piece of stone that they moved in one piece and stood up against this wall to preserve the footprints that are across the entire slab. They suspect these footprints were made by this guy.
Paleontologists give fossil tracks their own names. These names differ from the names of the animals that made the tracks. This is because finding tracks along with the skeleton of the track maker is extremely rare, and because many different types of animals make the same kinds of tracks. One thing that paleontologists do is we can look at the lengths of the toes, the configuration of the toes, and the shapes of the claws, and compare those to the bones of dinosaurs that are known from the same time period. And use
Again, the scale and scope of this museum and exhibit is pretty amazing. It gives you a last look. As much as there was to do inside the museum, when you went outside, there was this open area that they had left so they could develop it as an interactive garden. You could walk through the various stages in paleontology and see different stations and different animals as they grew. So we hope you enjoyed visiting this very unique museum. We enjoyed it, and we hope you did as well. So please like, follow, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you around the bend.